today is we're going to rehearse Rust Belt a little bit. Then we're going to perform Rust Belt. We're going to do some questions that you have about round belt in the high school. And then the high school students are going to perform their piece for you while you look at the music and go, wow. I'm wowed by that music myself, so pretty cool stuff. So ready to get some sounds? Do we all know the concert B-flat scale? Yes? Uh-oh, microphone down. I'm a mic drop, so. Yeah. So. Here we go. So the concert B-flat scale, if we're not sure, my trumpet players and clarinets are playing their C scale, right? C, D. Saxophones are playing their G scale. Flutes, trombones, baritones are playing B-flat. Percussion are playing a nice steady rhythm. Okay, we're going to do this in half notes. We good? Here we go. Good? Okay, here we go. In half notes. Oh, come on. Good. Some of the high school kids are coming from different classes, so we're going to have kids coming in and out. Anyway, let's try it out. 1, 2, and half notes. Breathe. 1, 2, 3. That is such a huge sound, isn't it? It sounds so much different than the small band, doesn't it? It's, wow, what a great sound. Percussion would be easier if we lowered the snare drums down a little bit. They're way too high, right? So if we can lower those 2 snare drums, that might be very, very helpful. That was such a great sound, isn't it? Can we try that one more time? Actually, let's just play the first 5 notes. Just the first 5 notes. Here we go. In half notes, 1, 2, half notes, and breathe. So one of the amazing things that happens as we get older is we're not so concerned with notes and rhythms. Well, we're concerned, but we know them already. So as we get older into round belt in the high school, we start talking more about playing it musically. So this time we're going to play the scale and we're going to add dynamics. Can any of the 5th graders define the term dynamics? Go ahead. That's exactly right. How loud soft. Yep. Round of applause. So it is the volume of the music. So simply speaking, if I'm conducting small, it means to play soft or piano. If I'm conducting big, we play forte, which is loud. So we're going to play the scale again, starting off nice and soft, the word is piano. We're going to crescendo, which means get louder. And we're going to end on a forte, which is nice and loud. And then we're going to decrescendo, get softer, back down to nice and soft. Do you think we can do that? Cool, here we go. So the concert B-flat scale again, starting off nice and soft, nice big crescendo, and then we can come right back down. Starting nice and soft, please. 1, 2, and softly. I think we can play softer. Maybe? Here we go, even softer. Yep, open it up. Some little things that are marked as soft with crescendos and fortes. So as you do this, if you haven't done it before, that's fine. But we're trying to get some dynamics in there. Good? So, actually, can we put this somewhere where I won't drop them? Again and again. Here we go, Rust Belt from the beginning. Let's just see what happens. Everybody have music? We're good? So I'm going to try to, well, not trick you, but I'm going to start this piece a little bit different than you're used to. So let's catch the tempo, the speed of the music, and the first note, the way I'm conducting. You ready? Percussion good? Here we go. Wait, what has happened? I missed the first note. I conducted this as if you were all high school students. What you're used to is this. Let's just play the first four measures again. First four measures, and we're going to conduct it similar to the way Mr. Madison, Mr. Edgeworth conducted. From the beginning again. 1, 2, ready. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So, in middle school, we're doing a combination of the two. So, the high school, we just go, boom, and then you play, right? Elementary school, 1, 2, ready, play. In middle school, I don't give 2 beats. So it's 3, 4. Ta, ta. You want to try that way? Here we go. So I'm only giving 2 beats. So it's going to be 3 and 4 and ba, ba. By the way, there's an F underneath your first note. What does that F mean? Who knows? Raise your hand. Try it. Forte means loud. Here we go. From the beginning. Forte. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Keep going. 3, 2, 3. So we're sharing a lot of equipment, so we okay over there? So one of the things that you might hear, they do not have in your school, are those big things over there in the corner that Sam is playing. Hi Sam. So Sam, besides back control of the chair, is playing the timpani part. And we'll take a look at those a little bit later. But so yeah, he has that nice timpani part. Second thing is measure 17. So if you look at your music, where 16 measures 16, what is underneath your notes in measure 16? Any fifth graders know? Go ahead. A crescendo, which means what? Perfect. So, when we start off nice and loud in measure, was that 8 or so? It's in measure forte. So you come down a little bit. Then measure 16, we build it up to nice and big again. You got it? So if we try that, please start in measure 13. So we had a measure 14, about a 5 on our bottom level. Here we go, measure 13. 1 and 2 and 13, go. 1 and 2. And 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is, build up. 4. Louder, 2, 3, 4. 2 and 3, 4. What are we going to do in 24? We're going to day crescendo and get softer, and in 25 there's a P on the music, which means soft. So we have all these great dramatic changes, from loud to soft, and it makes the music sound really cool. So, starting again in 3, 17 this time. No, 13. Unless you get these changes. You okay back there? 13. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 13. Breathe. 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it is. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, soft. Louder, 1, 2, 3. Together, or was I lost? Trumpets, were we together there? Please try that from, there's something weird in there. 27. We're not going to do the whole ending, but 27, please. Here we go. We good? 27. 1, 2, and 27. 2, 3, 4. That last time I got a little lost in music. Oops. So, why don't we try this from the beginning all the way to the end with all those big dynamics in there. Okay? Sort of pretend it's a concert. Sort of, kind of. Hi, Mom. Oh, wait, we're not supposed to leave the parents. Bad. Yeah, wait. Sneak your way through there. Good? By the way, everybody has music here, right? Everybody can see music? Yes? Drop it all good. Everybody can see the music? Good, good, good. Good? Good percussion? Here we go. So from the beginning, straight through. Let's see what happens. Good? Good. high school band and about roundabout. And we'll give us some of these questions in advance so we can see how many of these questions can we get through. So the first question, or actually we can start with question number 2, is what instruments are available in the middle school and the high school that we do not have in the elementary school? So when we look around the room, we can start with, fine, we can start with this small one. It's called a piccolo, if you can hold that up so everyone can see it. It's like a little tiny flute. So if you want to ask your questions.
What's your name?
Natalie.
What was your first instrument?
Flute.
The piccolo is a baby flute. Aw, she's so cute. Let's hear her.
Yay. So the piccolo, we do not use it at roundabout, but obviously we use it at the high school. Next we have the oboe. Can you hold that up? So.
Ooh. What's your name?
Winong,
What was your first instrument?
B flat clarinet. Oh,
The clarinet. Let's hear it, Wanong. Even high schoolers squeak.
We do have oboe players at roundabout, so that's something that people can switch to. Over in the clarinet, where we have bass clarinet, that we typically have 1 or 2 students in 6th grade play that. There'll be a clarinet player switches over. So go ahead.
What's your name?
Gabby,
What was your first instrument?
clarinet.
Let's hear the bass clarinet, Gabby. He thinks he's funny. We're not playing Blue Shades. It's not happening, Gabby.
Then to the bass clarinet, we have a bassoon.
So the bassoon, we're not going to hear it played right now because she has to go to the doctor. But what's your name?
Shane.
What was your instrument first?
Percussion.
Percussion.
So over
Ooh.
So over in saxophone land, the most common saxophone is the alto saxophone, which most of you have. Then we have the tenor saxophone, who's the tenor over there? Hold that up. So it's like regular saxophone, just a bit bigger.
What's your name?
James,
What was your first instrument?
alto sax.
Let's hear it. Yay!
Next to the tenor saxophone, we have the battery sax. Again, the instrument just a bit bigger and a bit lower.
Lift it up. Ooh. What's your name?
Jacob,
Wow.
The high schoolers are laughing because his older brother is Jacob, who plays tenor. Shane here is an older brother wannabe. So Shane, what was your first instrument?
alto sax.
Let's hear the Barry. Woo!
So we also have over the brass section, we have French horns. Hold those up.
He spit all over. What's your name?
Oliver.
What was your first instrument?
Trumpet.
Caitlin, what was your first instrument?
Trumpet.
Ooh, trumpet players. Look at the French horns. Pretty, pretty.
Thank you. So with the trombones, we normally do not have this around that, but if you look around the trombones, some of them are extra too big. You know, in the end, Justin had to make the bass trombone and get an extra lower notes on that. Go ahead, Justin. Cool.
Whee!
And we also have baritones, and then in the end we have tubas.
Tuba players. What's your name?
Kiara.
Gavin,
What was your first instrument?
Trombone.
baritone.
Ooh.
what's really amazing about having these instruments is that it really rounds out the band. So we're going to go backwards a little bit, and if we do that 5-note scale again, the first 5 notes of the B-flat scale, with no tubas, no baritones, no baritone sax, no bass clarinet, no bassoon, no bass trombone. So no percussion. Can I just hear those first 5 notes again? 1. So C, D, right, B flat, C, G. Got it? So the first 5 notes of the scale, no local instruments. 1, 2, and ready. Now flow instruments. So everybody playing, and you'll instantly hear the difference. 1, 2, and ready. 3. Round out the sound of the band. It helps so much. In percussion land, we have whatever the composer writes for. So if we start on the far left, we have a gong back there, we have toms, we have the chimes, we have a break drum, which is a big metal sheet. Hey, somebody whack the big drum. Go ahead. We have maracas, triangles, cymbals, snare drum, things are the timpani. So whatever the composer calls for, we have. So we can really use a lot more than we do in elementary school. Cool percussion?
I was going to point out that sometimes
What was that?
I was going to say sometimes the composer calls for also instruments like the break drum started out as a car part.
Well, you actually have a break drum, but we use those metal pieces anyway.
No, I know, but I mean like an actual.
So some of our high school pieces that we use, we literally ask for like pieces of metal, like so we did a piece called Foundry, and they literally wanted just random sized pieces of metal that we got to hit. It was fun.
So another question, and maybe one of the high school students can answer this, is at roundabout, is there a place to store your instrument, or do you have to carry it around through the whole day? Go ahead. What's your name first? So we have lockers, and we also have a storage room. So typically what happens is, when you enter roundabout, you come straight to the band room, you put your instrument in those lockers, and then you go to first period. You're not going to leave first period. You have plenty of time. And then at the end of the day, come back to the band room, grab it, and go home. You're not going to miss the bus. We have plenty of time. So there is a place to leave the instruments at roundabout. What playing or performing opportunities are available besides regular band class? And at the high school, there's a bunch, and there's a bunch at roundabout also.
What's your name?
Zora.
Tell me about it.
Pit orchestra. It's like we play live music for musicals and stuff.
Twice a year, super fun. Let's do another one. Who wants to do another one? Lift that up. Bad child.
Zamaya.
What do you?
I play flute. We have jazz band, which we basically just play jazz music at like our concerts, and it's really fun.
Actually, really quickly, if you're in pit orchestra, raise your hand. If you're in jazz band, raise your hand. Okay, and last but not least, excuse me. What's your name? What's your name?
Brandon.
Ash.
What do you like?
I play alto saxophone.
What's your last group?
Pep band. We play pop music at the football and basketball games, and in my opinion, it's the most fun.
It's a lot of fun. We have good times. Okay, I'm coming. I'm so sorry. Okay.
There's parades.
We do play in the parades every year. I think they're fun. I think it's a good time. We do the Spirit of Beacon. Shh. We do the Spirit of Beacon Day parade every year, and then normally we also do the St. Patrick's Day parade. We just didn't do it this year because I decided to fall downstairs. So we didn't do it this year, but normally we do.
So at roundabout, we have some very similar groups. So we have a jazz band that's open to 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. There's something called a ensemble, which is a band that meets after school that normally performs a little bit more typical music. There's also a pep band that plays at the football games. We 7th and 8th graders also do march in the parade. So they do march in the spirit of the 8th parade, and they just march at the St. Patrick's Day parade. Who was at the St. Patrick's Day parade? So did you see the band? Yep, that was the roundabout band. There's also opportunities to do a NISBA solo. How many of you have done a NISBA solo or going to be doing one? Cool. So doing NISBA solos over to all students next year. And on top of that, we had, how many of my 5th graders were in Oak County band or chorus? So if you're in Oak County band or chorus, there's a chance next year. So for 6th grade band, you have to actually audition for it. So there's lots of playing opportunities. So here's a good question. And by the way, these questions that the 5th graders asked, we kind of submitted these questions. Have you ever wanted, I hate saying this one. It's a good question, I just keep saying it. Okay. Have you ever wanted to quit band? Why did you decide to stay?
Who wants to answer?
In 7th grade.
What's your name?
Oh, Natalie. Oh, in 7th grade, I was thinking about quitting just because of like COVID and stuff, but I didn't because then the next year, like when things started to go back to normal, I realized how like the band community is something that you'll never get anywhere else, and it's just something that if you just stay, it just creates such a your band people are for life. Like,
And here's to go along with that. For my band people, how many of you come out and come and hang in the band room during lunch, during a study hall, at the end of the day, in the morning? This is how many people just come to hang out because you find a little home there in a little community. Let's go to one other person who, plot twist,
On the left.
he did quit and then he's coming back. Oh, you're gonna do it this time? Oh, she did. We're gonna do the Kira version this time. Sorry, what's your name?
Kira.
Tell me more about your experience with band.
So in 7th grade, I quit because people were like, boo, boo band. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then I came back.
Why did you come back?
Because it's just so fun. And your band teachers are amazing, and you'll miss them. And then they'll bribe you to come back.
It's true, I did. Let's do one more person. Okay, let's do Gavin. What's your name?
Gavin. So, when I was playing baritone, it was really boring. Then I switched to tuba, then it was really fun. So, baritones, please switch to tuba. It's very fun.
So remember, like some of you, so raise in this room, how many of you switched from your primary instrument? Now this isn't a fix-all, but some people do end up switching because they like the sound of a different instrument. Especially in our low section, our oboe player, like they liked the sound of a different instrument. Not everyone can switch because we don't need 50 oboes. Plot twist. No one wants 50 oboes.
One of the big questions I get is, can I switch instruments? And you only say, maybe, we'll talk at the end of September. And the reason why I wait so long is I want to see how many instruments we have. Because if all of a sudden I have, let's say, 50 flute players, and say, can I switch to flute? I'm like, well, we have a lot of flute players, maybe try something else. I will ask one of the clarinet players to see if a clarinet player wants to switch to bass clarinet. You can always use one of those backwards with the tubas, and I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. So any of the little brass that there's one try tuba, I may send one down to the elementary school and just take that, so if you want to try it out, maybe we can work that out. You can always use French horn players, and then with the tenor saxophone, normally one of the altos will try you out on the tenor. The baritone sax, you can kind of keep the 7th and 8th graders. So as you go on, if I have a French horn player who wants to switch to, say, clarinet or whatever, we will kind of see how it goes. I know in 5th grade you have lots of worries about going to roundabout. Actually, aren't you coming for a visit next week or 2 weeks? Right? So the 5th graders actually coming through the building. I won't be there because I'm going to be with the 6th graders that day, but you should be able to get to see the band room and what it looks like. If you have questions about roundabout that we don't get, about band that we don't get to today, please ask the band teachers correctly. What drives me nuts is I'll have a student who will quit band before going to 6th grade, and I'll find out they quit what seemed like a really big worry to them, but it was something really simple that we could fix. So if you're nervous about 6th grade band, and you ever let me know what it is, because a lot of times we can fix those things. So one of the other worries I'm going to ask the 7th and 8th graders about. I know we're concerned about missing class time. So the way the class works is band is a scheduled class. Just like science, math, and English. Band is on your schedule. You're not missing another class for band class. So it's every other day and it's a set class. However, we do have band lessons. And we do pull you out of class for those band lessons. So the question is, we're concerned about missing too much class time or certain classes. Have the teachers been accommodating and understanding about band lessons? So who would like to talk about band lessons and missing classes?
Let's do James because actually let's do Milo. Milo volunteered. That's exciting. I'm sorry, James. You volunteered and you got to play our. Excuse me. Excuse me. What's your name?
Milo.
Tell me about it, Milo.
So most of the teachers are pretty chill with letting you go to the band lessons, except for Miss Thomas. But
Stop it! Stop it!
and Mr. Sandstone, but
Stop it!
everyone else is pretty okay with it.
And what happens if you miss a lesson?
You have to make it up.
And then for makeup lessons at Rambo, I think most of them happen after school. So you just stay after school one day and you make it up. Here at the high school, because we have so much extra music, I actually have our makeup lessons on Fridays. So if you have a lunchtime or there's a class that you're doing really well and you're like, okay, I can make up my lesson then we make up our lesson then instead. And I think if you have to miss a band lesson, would we say that the band teachers are pretty chill? Like if you, okay, I like to tease my students. I'm mean, but you know that's me. The people at Rambo are really nice and they're really great about if you have to miss a band lesson, you just make it up, unless you're Emilio. By the way, this is Jacob. Say hi, Jacob.
So, with the schedule for next year, if they do things the same way, it's either going to be a Google form or a piece of paper, and they're going to ask you what music class you want to be in 6th grade. And there's 3 choices. If you're not in band and you're not in chorus, then you're in general music. Or you all take music class this year, right? So it's music class or chorus or band. So what we're going to ask that you do, because you might have a change for next year, is you're going to write band, if that's your choice, or chorus, if that's your choice. But if you want to be in both, I would pick band for one and write also want to be chorus. You're working on changing the schedule for next year, and it's not done yet. And if this change happens, then you can be in band and chorus for next year. It's not set in stone, they're still working it out. But if you don't want to be in band and you want to be in chorus, that kind of works too. But they're going to ask you which one you want to be next year. Yeah, so in high school, you can be in both. And there was a question about jazz band and winter summer after school. There are late buses at Roundabout and the high school, so if you stay after school to work with a teacher or to stay to practice, because we have kids who stay after just to practice, or you stay for jazz band or this or that, there are late buses Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And with that, I think the high school kids are going to perform their piece. So as the kids look at the music. Yep. Questions? left.